something happened recently and I was shooketh. I wanted to fight for you. I swore I was your mom a little bit in my heart. I was like, what the fuck? But we mentioned your nephew Henry being half white. Yes. Someone recently on social media said that you were a white woman.
Oh, I get that pretty often.
Okay, and that's so hard for the Latino community to like differentiate and to accept white identity because we were colonized. But you know, like so much of us have so much within our ethnic identities, right? I mean, I don't want to give my DNA to nobody, but talk to us about that. Like, and I really loved your response too. So if you could tell us about that too.
Yeah. So there's every now and then these accounts pop up and they start calling me a spicy Caucasian or a spicy European.
Oh my Lord.
And I feel like it's the same couple of people, but whatever. First we're going to put on the table, white Latinos exist.
Yes.
They're
not white passing.
They're not white passing. They're white, right? And then after that, there's a whole range of folks, right? Because like we always say, Latinidad is an ethnicity, not a race, right? So there's indigenous Latinos, there's mestizos, you know, which is where I fall. There's Afro Latinos, and then there's Asian Latinos and other identities that I might be missing, right? And so I'm a mestiza and I'm on the lighter end, right? And that was a lot for me to learn to wrap my mind around because I come from people, like from families that literally my parents were migrants, right? So I'm not like multi-generations being in this country. I'm the first generation that was born here.
Yeah.
So that wasn't dialogue in our family. In our family, we're like, we're just Salvadoran and that's it, right? And then also I didn't go to college. So a lot of this identity conversations weren't things that I was used to. I knew that there were black folks and I knew there were white folks and I knew there were brown folks. And then I'm like, I'm brown.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize that there's like hierarchies and all that. It's very nuanced, right?
Yeah.
And it changes. So whenever people tell me like, you're a white Latina, I'm like, I'm a light-skinned Latina and I have a lot of privileges that I have to be aware of and unpack and things that make me navigating the world easier, but I can never pass for a white person.
Yeah.
That has never been my experience.
Yeah. And even you just sharing that too, that there is privilege that comes with being a light-skinned Latina versus a white Latina, right?
Yeah.
And growing up, shout out to my friend Chaz, who always checked me when we were in college. All these novela artists who got the best tans, shout out to their tan artists. I was like, that's a brown man. And now as an adult, I'm like, Fernando Colunga, all these white motherfuckers who I was like, they're so Mexican. And I'm like, these are white ass food. Alicia Villarreal, all these people, right, I grew up thinking they're Mexican, they're brown, right? And so it takes so much to deconstruct that. But I just want to say that the people that come for you are tripping, right? But it's a good conversation to have. And I think it's good that people are reading it because I'm sure there are a lot of your followers who are also unpacking that.
Yeah.
And understanding that.
And I lean into it, you know, like I laugh. Because, like, when I get called, like, a spicy European, I'm like, I've never in my life have been mistaken for a white person. I don't think I could pass for a white person. And like, I am on the lighter side, and I'm not going to deny that. But also, my features are not very European, right? Yeah. And so it's interesting. And also, like, being a fat woman of color becomes, like, this whole other conversation. But, like, I just lean into it and I start calling myself a spicy Caucasian, a spicy European. My grandmother was indigenous. My grandfather was mestizo. On my father's side of my family, I don't know much of that family, but they're browner than I am. But I'm not going to take on their identities because that's not mine. That's not how I'm moving. Yeah. But I'm like, cool. Like, I'm down to have these conversations. But I think the bigger conversation is, like, when we start policing each other in a sense, and it's not to correct bad behavior, right? Like, it's important to point out people's privileges and correct that.
Yeah.
But when we're just doing it for the sake of, like, trying to win something, is like, it makes it hard to really check the people that are fucking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like the defensiveness comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, because then I'm defending myself because this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But then some white Latina comes in and be like, I feel you. I feel like this. Exactly. And I'm like, nah, homegirl.
Like, it blurs the conversation a lot. Yeah.
I'm like, nah, homegirl, it's not the same thing porque, like, if you don't open your mouth, no one's going to know.
Yeah.
No one's going to know that you're a Latina, you know? And if you decide to not use your last name or whatever, it's not going to be apparent. Yeah. But for me, I go to the Midwest. I book a gig in the Midwest, and all these white fools want to talk to me in Spanish.
Yeah, right.
And call me Maria.
That's the worst. Why are they so goddamn disrespectful? Like, hola. Nah, bitch, what's up? Like, get the fuck out my face with your one-worded Spanish intros. Like, I hate it.